What's up guys, today we're going to be going over the Whisper of the Worm and also the Darci, both of which are receiving buffs in the next update that comes along with the 30th anniversary drop. And in this video we'll be going over all their numbers and seeing if they're going to be part of the meta once they are buffed. But before we get into all that good stuff, a quick word from today's video sponsor. When you use the bathroom, more than likely you close the door behind you for your privacy, so why are you on the internet with that door open at all times? And Surfshark is that door. Surfshark is a VPN that keeps your online identity safe by encrypting all the information sent between your device and the internet. And this allows all kinds of cool things, for example, masking your IP address, which fully closes that door. It makes it such that your location and even your download history aren't linked to your personal identity. And if cyber criminals can't get your IP address, they cannot DDoS you, which is still a huge problem in the gaming scene, especially on consoles. Another huge benefit of Surfshark is that you can bypass censorship, which means you can unblock websites or content that would otherwise be restricted in your location. So surely you wouldn't go to the bathroom in public with the door open. So to close that door, get Surfshark today, and at checkout use code AIR for 83% off plus 4 free extra months. And there's no risk to try it out because Surfshark offers a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you want to try it out, there will be a link at the top description and in the comments. Thanks to Surfshark for sponsoring today's video. So jumping straight into it with the Whisper of the Worm, looking at the buffs. First one, reduced delay of activating Whisper breathing from the catalyst from 2.1 to 1.2 seconds. Secondly, White Nail magazine refill changed, was 3 from inventory but now pulls 2 from the inventory and 1 from thin air. Then finally increased damage in PvE by 10%. So first, with the reduced time of activating the Whisper breathing, this is going to be a super noticeable change, almost dropping off a full second, which means there's going to be a lot less downtime in DPS phases when you first start shooting. Then if you also miss and have to reproc it, it's gonna be a lot quicker. Usually I didn't factor this into my DPS because there's a lot of situations where you're gonna have it pre-procced before the boss could be shot at, and this will just make it easier to do that in more situations. And the second change, the White Nail change, right now pulls 3 from your reserves, but now it's only gonna pull 2 from your reserves and 1 from thin air, which has greatly changed the total damage output of this weapon. So normally you hold 18, then with double reserve perks, as you see right here, it will go up to 23. So now with the way White Nail works, it's kind of like triple tap where you get 1 ammo back from thin air, and if you do the math and follow out how many shots you can shoot, it'll go to 26 with no reserves and 34 with double reserves, which is a lot of ammo with this sniper. Then looking at damage on Carl for the DPS, right now hits for almost 41,000, but it's getting 10% increase, which is gonna be 45,000 almost on the dot. And now we look at the rate of fire of this weapon, just doing 3, so 1 mag, then 6 for 2 mags for like the burst and sustained numbers, which means the 1 mag DPS is 84,000, while 2 mags or the sustained DPS will be almost 68,000. Also, if we look at the total damage output of this weapon, if you don't miss any shots, which should be pretty easy with someone using Div on your team, it'll be between 1.1 million and over 1.5 million. And before we analyze all those numbers, if we look at the Darci ones first, the changes to Darci are pretty interesting. So first, reduced flinch, recoil, and accuracy degradation by 50% while Personal Assistant is active. Also, Personal Assistant now has a 1-second delay before deactivating. Before the second your aim left the target, you would lose the damage buff. And finally, increase the damage in PvE by 20%. So the first 2 changes will make it more likely that you'll have the buff for every single shot, and the 50% reduced recoil will make it a lot easier to hit all those shots because it is a 140 RPM. And looking at damage on Carl, right now it hits for roughly 22.2 thousand. That should go up to 26,639, which is quite a bit more. Looking at the rate of fire of the weapon, once again 1 mag and 2 mags, so 7 and 14. Look how long that takes. The 2 mags takes just under 7 seconds, which means DPS is 71.6, and then over 2 mags 54.5. So those numbers are quite a little bit lower than the Whisper of the Worm. If we also look at the total damage output, normally it holds 23. Then once again you get 5 more with double reserves, going up to 28, which means somewhere between 600,000 and 750,000, which is once again a lot lower than that of the Whisper, less than half of its numbers. So if we just compare between the 2 exotic sniper rifles first, the Whisper is just straight up better for pretty much every situation. It's gonna be a little bit better at burst and absolutely destroy the Darci in total damage output and sustained DPS. And overall, I think the Whisper will be a huge part of the meta for those longer boss fights, for example raids. And to be honest, it kind of already is. I think the main reason we're not seeing it being used for things like Atheon or Templar right now is mostly because of the particle deconstruction mod this season. But if you take away that mod for this season or upcoming seasons, once it is gone, I think the Whisper is going to be in a great spot and it's going to see a lot of use in those situations. I do think there are a few better options for burst, mostly rocket launchers, which I think will be more used in mains like strikes and stuff like that. Those boss fights that aren't nearly as long and you don't need that much ammo. I still think rockets have a little bit higher burst DPS, and I think we'll see people still using them in those situations. But for all the raid boss fights, I do think Whisper will be one of the better options. And as we've seen in the past few seasons, a lot of the metas have been determined by the seasonal artifact mods. So between Breach and Clear last season, then also Particle Deconstruction this season, those two mods shaped the meta of their season. So obviously if there is something like that in Witch Queen, that might change and make it so Whisper isn't used that much. But if there is no mod like that, I think Whisper will be among one of the top options. And overall, I think it's going to be really cool to see it in the meta again, because it is one of the most iconic weapons in the franchise. But the good thing about it this time is I don't think it's going to be so strong that it's going to be like a must use. I definitely think you'll still be able to use other options, but it'll be 100% viable now and be one of the better choices. And yeah, I think that's all I want to say about this. If this video does well and it looks like you guys want me to do more previews of this upcoming patch, I can definitely put out a few more, and it looks like the next tab will be over subclasses and abilities, so there might be a lot of cool things to go over there too. But if I don't, I'll definitely be making videos on all these different topics once the 30th anniversary pack drops. And I'm treating that definitely like a full season, so I definitely hope to be uploading every single day for like 30 plus days like I do for most seasons. So definitely look forward to that. Like usual, let me know what you think about this buff. I think the Whisper is a great buff and we'll put it back to where it kind of needs to be. I think the Darci could use a little bit more damage, but at the same time it changes to the flinch and recoil with the buff going. It's going to be really nice and make it a lot more usable and actually allow you to shoot at the max rate of fire. But I still think Whispers is going to be a little bit better, but I think it's going to still get outshined by that. Anyways, like usual, there might be a little bit of strike gameplay left. I'm not quite sure. Thanks for watching. Catch you guys next time.